High of 45, clear and cold, low 29 overnight, but we'll stay cloudy through the morning. 29 right now at O'Hare, 30 at Midway, 28 in Aurora, 31 in Joliet, 30 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Samuel Say is a Ghanaian, Canadian Christian writer and preacher. I think he's in Ohio now. But anyway, he tweeted out, "I had to discipline my son tonight. It's not the first time, but I'm heartbroken. It's necessary, but I hate it so much. It's especially difficult since he's such a good boy. He's such an easy boy to parent, but he's still a sinner, and since I love him, I must discipline him." His son is 4 months old, and
4 months? They don't know what they're doing at 4 months, but okay, that's his business.
Yeah, thank you for playing into the left on this.
Well, Dan, I've had a 4-month-old. A 4-month-old? What did he do at 4 months?
Oh, what did he do? Oh, that's the question you're supposed to ask. Right. But instead, because he's a Christian, the leftist mafia that's so good at managing the lives of others called authorities and filed a complaint and said his kid should be taken away and excoriated him online and so on and so forth. So Samuel Say explained further. On that night, my son was unusually difficult. He was very sleepy, but though he had a clean diaper and a full belly, he wouldn't stop crying no matter how I held him. So I figured I should place him in his crib. I decided to let him cry in his crib momentarily, which was very hard for me. I was heartbroken knowing he wanted me to pick him up, but I thought it was necessary. Moments later, he fell asleep and stayed asleep until the morning. That's what my tweet was about. I hated hearing him cry in the crib. I wish I didn't have to do that. I love my son, and I love rocking him to sleep. But I knew it was necessary. I was teaching him how to sleep on his own. That's all I assumed. That's all. I assume that kind of sleep training falls under the umbrella of quote-unquote discipline.
Oh, to me, that does not fall under the umbrella of discipline. That's
well, you're not from
parenting.
You're not from
Ghana. I don't know what his.
Yeah, but that's what the left does is we want to jump to, especially because he's a Christian. So we assume that it's Christians. All Christians are hypocrites, and that's where the abuse really takes place. Not the secular world. The secular humanists are all magical people who don't sin and who don't exploit children. It's the religious people that we have to worry about. This is the message you get everywhere in American society today. And it leads to these ignorant mobs that try and roust Samuel Say to the extent of taking a tweet, 140 characters, without any context and without even considering, what do you mean by discipline? And calling authorities to go take his kid. This is what you're dealing with. Now those same people will become aware of an expose done 6 years ago by the Tribune that details hundreds of credible claims of sexual abuse and assault in the Chicago public school system, confirmed by the Chicago Corp Counsel's office, and nothing happens. No one says anything. Process that dichotomy when you want a commentary on where America is these days culturally and who are the problems and who are those that are living an example that perhaps should be emulated. For more on this, since he recently wrote on the topic, we're pleased to be joined by our old friend Willie Wilson, former mayoral candidate and candidate for other offices as well. Also a philanthropist and businessman, as you know. Willie Wilson's piece in the Tribune, "Protecting our kids from abuse must be our highest priority." Willie, thanks for being with us again. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you guys, both. Dan, you and Amy, appreciate you. I'm my favorite guys, you know?
So you picked up in the piece in the Tribune that you penned on this situation at CPS. So give us your perspective. I don't think we've talked about this. I think we actually did when you were a candidate, but let's get into more depth on it. So what is it? How can parents and clergy and other alleged stakeholders in the school system, how can everyone turn a blind eye to this? Where are the trial lawyers to sue CPS? Where's anybody saying anything except now you, after we spent years doing it?
Yeah. Well, one thing that the Chicago Public School is a situation that, look, the Inspector General got on him, but like it needs to be, in my opinion, as you read McCollum, it should be maybe the federal government should get involved. They have to report to them. I think the Chicago unions have got to take on a lot of their responsibilities themselves too. You know.
When the feds get done with P. Diddy, maybe they can take a look at CPS.
I agree. I agree with it totally, 100%. Now it goes further than just the CPS, as you know. You got stuff going on in the religion community, even in your own household, and those type of things there, and churches, the whole 9 yards. But the public school system should be investigated, and those people should be held accountable for them. The politics that they play. Look, our kid is the future of this whole country, you know, and so I would like to see somebody just get in there and open this thing back up, investigate, do an audit of this whole situation without turning a blind eye to it. The mayor, he was I guess before he became mayor, he was Chicago Public School. I mean, I'm sure he's very aware of this too, and the governor too. So they should open up these investigations and start to prosecuting people and holding them accountable. You know.
Well, they should prosecute, because I know some of them, they should be in jail. If they did that to any other kid outside of the school, they would be. So why do you think parents are sitting back and just watching this happen?
I think, in my opinion, on some of the areas, I just think that a lot of the parents are depressed and trying to make a living with the inflation and things of that nature, and hold a good job and trying to pay bills, trying to buy food and things of that nature. So much occupied, and they're depressed. They don't come out and vote. The politicians keep raising taxes. You know, just don't know what to do. And then I think also that the parents, kind of like saying, what the use going into it? We're going to lose anyway. Nobody pay attention to us, you know. So I think it's a matter of a combination of all of this kind of situation going on. You got crime, high, and everything else. They got so many things on their mind. Now, I'm in church like every Sunday, 2 or 3 churches Sunday. I speak at church and sing around the country. And there's a lot of people out there, the kids, even the parents. And I every Sunday when I'm speaking or singing, how many people in here have thought about committing suicide? I mean, y'all see the hands goes up. Ever thought about past or present committing suicide? That's a depression. People just depressed. You know, so a lot of these things here that should be taken care of by these politicians, they ought to take focus on that, just like they focus on the illegal immigrant, raising money and doing stuff that way. That they just all mix up, you know.
Well, so on the on this depression that allegedly paralyzes parents from, I don't know, reporting incidents of sexual abuse of their children. Boy, I don't know about that. Is that the same reason that nobody kicked up any dust over the tax credit scholarship program and going away, and 10,000 families whose kids were on scholarship set to lose those scholarships, and another 30,000 families that were on the waiting list that will not get those scholarships? I mean, that's a lot of people invested in a better education for their kids that just lost that investment, and I don't hear anything about that either.
Well, you know, I wrote about that in one of my columns. You know, they stood by. Now, I acted the union took then killed that, in my opinion, because I do recall that the governor did say that somebody, they bring it to me. They bring it to
he
me.
was
I was signing the
lying.
bill.
Pritzker was lying. He knew he would get killed. That's a lie. So, I mean, forget who killed it. We know who killed it. Chris Welch did the bidding of J.B. Pritzker. That's how it got killed. So where are the parents to hold? Where are the parents out going out to Proviso Township to give it to Chris Welch? Where are they out giving it to Governor Pritzker? Where are they out making their case? I didn't see it.
Yeah. No, they're not, and you know, like these guys control politics, controls our lives, and people of that nature. I believe they just beat us down until they don't even want people don't even want to come out and vote no more. It's just that depression, but them kids is a whole new thing. You know, it's a whole new thing, and I don't know how you deal with it in terms of really prosecuting these jokers. You know. But I would encourage the parents and everybody else, or some small committees from the community, or some just get out and start to put something together and raise these issues and get concerned about them, because they are serious issues. You know, but I did how to find where to start with all this politics and things of that nature. And politicians need to be prosecuted themselves, be honest with you, Dan.
Yeah, well, that would be nice. That would be nice.
So, Dr. Willie Wilson, what are you hearing from the people in your church and your community about the migrant situation?
Terrible. I mean, like we are there. I'm also mad about it, be honest. We're going to write about that too. The bottom line is that, look, the people in the community need help. These are the people who pay taxes. These are the people that voted them into office. Now you got illegal, I'm putting illegal there, comes into the country and get, health care, get money for all of these different things, taken from the resource and leaving them hanging out. That ain't going to never go away, in my opinion. This is sad. And for the mayor and also for the governor to raise this kind of money, millions and millions of dollars to help that cause, and leading the people out of office, leading the people in the community, that is, out in the street. People got to move out the shelter and let other people come in there, not from the country. It's sickness and sadness. It defies common sense.
Well,
so if it ain't common sense, I don't know what it is. I ain't got an answer for it. It's not a word, not even a dictionary.
And it's also another situation, going back to the general theme of our conversation, of the exploitation of children. I mean, that's what the city and the county and the state are doing. They're facilitating the exploitation of children, from human smugglers and drug cartels to herding them into these makeshift shelters where a 5-year-old gets sick and dies. How is that not the exploitation of children?
Well, I totally agree with you. You know, these and the other thing is too is that, look, when COVID-19 hit, I mean, but look, they bring the illegal immigrant comes in, nobody check them out in terms of health care or nothing. Now you got the measles outbreak. Most of them, from my understanding, is come out of the immigrant department there. I mean, where they staying at. Nobody checks on them. They can go to the airport and just about get on whatever flight they want to get on, go whatever they got to do.
Yep. I just don't have an answer for it. The politicians have lost it. They violate the Constitution. You can't go in any country in China. I've been around the world 4 times at least. I need visa and things like that to get into the country. But America let people come in, not even check them out. People who they know is the number one enemy overseas coming to this country, not checking them out, and say nothing. And then the sanctuary city, they wouldn't even allow to get on, as you know, on the ballot for the people to vote whether Chicago should be a sanctuary city or not. Mm-hmm. You know, so these things here, I've been trying to figure out in my mind, what do you call it? It's a disease that is unknown somewhere. Where people thinking this ain't human, you know?
Yeah, it's the Stockholm syndrome, and it's Stockholm, and you're identifying with the barbarians who are your captors. But the speaking of the ballot, the Cook County State's Attorney's race, what is your take on that? A very methodical counting, taking their sweet time, because no vote shall be counted until it's time in Cook County. And whether the outcome of the race matters in terms of Harris or Burke, either one, any prospect in your view for improvement when it comes to removing repeat violent offenders from the streets?
Well, we already know we got some violence on the street. Yeah, you have to enforce these laws. I've stated, as you know, when I was running, was that you got to take some of these restrictions off the particular our police officer and let them do their job. And I understand the pros and cons on both sides of it, But you commit a crime, you must be held accountable for it. Otherwise, people get out here and kill other people and they'll even be accountable and they just still walk and nobody catching nobody.
So
well,
what's a pro then?
Either Harris or Burke, are they going to change anything? Is anything going to be different than it was under Fox?
I sure hope that thing will be different. I don't know much about now. Want to be honest with you, no more than from their background, what they have said. Nobody really came out into the community. I didn't see anybody in my circle where I came out and talked and even asked questions. Be honest with you, Dan. I didn't see none of them. What I think they're going to do, any good or not, I didn't change in terms of what's going on now. I have no idea because we haven't been able to talk to nobody. Don't know their background about everything. Just to act to do it. Come out and talk like we did when we was mayor. We was out in the community all the time and had people ask questions and everything else. We got to know a little bit about them, but this haven't happened in this case. I really don't know on this one.
Well, so Clayton Harris Clayton Harris III, didn't reach out to speak in front of your congregation or anything?
I haven't seen him myself personally. Period. Look, I have not seen him. I mean, the people reached out to me to talk to me about terms of endorsement. And I just didn't do anything in that way because I didn't know what about him. I mean, to me, you have to explain and come out and talk and tell you what your agendas are and things of that nature. I be in the church all the time, but I haven't seen him myself. I don't mean that he haven't been out here, but it would mean that I have not seen him, and I am in the heart of these churches all of the time. I just haven't seen it.
Well, I guess
I don't want to party.
Yeah, well, I guess when you say, as Clayton Harris did, that he would give Kim Foxx an A grade for her performance over the last 8 years, I guess you really don't need to say anything more after that. Willie Wilson, a humanitarian and businessman, of course. Willie, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
You know, daily stress is such a big deal. Fact is, the terrible impact of stress is very deadly and shortens our lives. Stress attracts diseases just like blood in the water attracts sharks. And for over 40 years on Chicago radio, we continue to share practical concepts from a natural healthcare perspective to help minimize your need for all those dangerous drugs and risky surgeries. So today, it's our dirt cheap adrenal stress index test. No blood, just spit. Now, most people don't do so well on their first go around signaling adrenal gland distress. And then they follow our stress busting strategies and pass their second test with flying colors. So if you can spare a little spit, call for your dirt cheap adrenal stress index test and we will hold that same special low price for your follow-up test. Just call 800-794-1855. You can't get any cheaper than dirt cheap. That's 800-794